Hey, I'm Michael. At Silverdale, we are in a 6-week series on making disciples where we have been learning 6 traits of a follower of Jesus. And we just concluded that series this past week. And today I'm having a conversation with Brian. Brian, thank you so much for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you are the campus pastor at our newest campus, the Bridges campus.
That's right. That's correct.
I'm so excited about that.
And it is not the old people service or the place where they sing hymns all the time.
I love that.
I've had a lot of problems with the marketing on that, but anyways.
So this weekend, Tony preached the last of 6 messages on making disciples, and we've been on a journey, right? So we talked about being filled with the Holy Spirit. We talked about how to pray. We talked about sharing our testimonies, our story. We talked about sharing God's story, that's sharing the gospel. And then we talked about Bible study. And then this weekend, it was about how to help others grow in their faith, how to make disciples. Tony shared in his message that these skills, these traits of a believer, they are going to take really the rest of our lives to develop and perfect. And I'm just kind of curious, in your life, what is God telling you and either convicting you about or maybe even encouraging you? Hey, this is an area that you're doing great in.
First of all, I think my small group and everybody I know has really appreciated the hard skills that have been taught through this, the 15-second testimony, the 3 circles. I mean, I think it's always good to put a tool in your toolbox, right? And because I'm a tool guy, so I relate to that. But in my life, sometimes I'll walk away from a situation and you think, I missed an opportunity there, right? And so I think one of the things that God has done through this series for me is He's heightened my sensitivity to those situations, right? And I think part of that comes from learning the tools. One of the things it's generated a lot of conversation in our house, about these techniques and all that. And, it's like, why? What causes that? What's the trepidation there? And I think for me, sometimes it's the awkwardness of the moment. It's right. I don't want to create an awkward moment. But then you think about it and it's like, well, why? Why would you not want, who cares if it's awkward, right? Well, because what we're sharing here is life or death. It's eternal. And, if there's a little awkward in it,
I had that experience just yesterday. So, we had finished up in our small group talking about how we can, as Tony talked about in the message, be that person of peace who goes out looking for a person of peace. What can we do? What can we do to just bring the gospel into conversation and to share it with people? And one of the things that I thought about was, my neighborhood has a Facebook group. What if I just put on there, hey, my wife and I are going to be prayer walking in the morning. We'd love to pray for you. If you've got something to pray, you'd like for us to pray for, let us know. Or just give us a thumbs up. We'll be happy to pray for you. And I felt real awkward about that. I thought, this really has never been a place to do that, right. To share your faith. And I don't want to turn people away. And what if they...
I don't want to turn this forum into some,
Yeah, where it just becomes awkward for people. Yeah. I didn't want to put people off. Well, that's what's going through my mind, right? So finally I got over myself and I posted that. And when I woke up this morning and looked at that, man, there were 50 people that commented like that, put the little heart on that. So thankful for doing this, pray for this situation. I mean, it was everything I would hope it would be.
Yeah, what a great. It's really about looking for that icebreaker, isn't it? And I thought what Tony talked about in the message Sunday, they were toward the end with the care, prayer, and share. Because that was always the question. When we were going through the 50-minute testimony and the 3 circles, those were separate weeks in my small group. The question is, how do I get there, right? How do I get to that place? I don't mind sharing the 3 circles. I don't mind sharing, but how do I take the conversation from ordinary, into the spiritual realm? And I think that, I think that whole care, prayer, share. I know that there are people who are going to go, I'll pass on the prayer thing. But I think most people, if you say, here's where I'm at, and I believe in prayer, and I'd like to pray for you. Is there anything I pray for you? I think that brings the guard down. for most people.
I do too. I thought that was so helpful. I thought that the whole care, prayer, share just really took the edge off of it for me. And I had several people in our small group say the same things, like, that does kind of simplify it a little bit. One of the things he talked about in the message was acts of kindness or even hospitality. I'm just kind of curious, how does that play out in your life and in your home?
Well, it's interesting that you would bring that up, because that's probably one of the most convicting parts of his message for me. Probably in your situation, you still got kids at home and you're dealing with a lot of that kind of thing. But, I'm an empty nester, and so my home is open, except we've not really made it open. And my wife and I have been talking about this for the last little bit, even before Tony preached. It's how can we, now that we're in this place in life, how can we bring more people into our home and share a meal and, get to know people? I think if you just, hey, come over, I don't want to sell you Amway or, was Tony's saying, and, I really just want to know you and just be hospitable.
Yeah, I love your heart in that. I love your passion in that. I love what the Lord is doing in you and also through you to lead the campus, is helping that service grow in acts of kindness and hospitality and helping people find the gospel. I think you're doing a great job. I think you're going to keep doing a great job.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.